he is a brilliant performer. He has an extraordinary persona, the drink, the cigarettes, the blokishness. It is the easiest thing in the world to stand up and say, they're stupid, they're wrong, they don't represent you, they are ignoring you, they are smug, they're elitist. I don't think he has done nearly well enough, and he has to do it in a way that's compassionate, but strong. You have to know what you're doing. You have to have a clear narrative. You can't flip-flop and say, growth was my priority. Oh, by the way, now the polls are telling me it's immigration.
Sir Anthony, you've observed closely multiple political leaders. In your assessment, what is it about Nigel Farage that appears to be cutting through to some people?
Well, he is a brilliant performer. He has an extraordinary persona, the drink, the cigarettes, the blokishness, the pubs, his ability to be good on social media, good on radio, good on television. And let's face it, he has an incredibly easy and plausible script that is attractive to many, many people who are not just fed up with illegal immigration and the failure of the Conservatives and Labour to deal with it, but who are fed up with promises from the Prime Minister again and again of both parties to deliver on a whole range of policies. And it is the easiest thing in the world to stand up and say, they're stupid, they're wrong, they don't represent you, they are ignoring you, they are smug, they're elitist, they do not care, but we do and I do. That is easy and it's insincere. And you know, when was the last time that somebody came into Downing Street who had not been leader of the opposition or a minister in government over 100 years? There is no way that Nigel Farage is equipped in terms of his intellect, experience, or indeed, I think, health. I mean, he's 61 at the moment, he'll be 65 the next general election, 70 if he stays for the 5 years. There's no way that this man is going to be, it's a con trick to imagine, sorry to say it if it seems tough, that this man is a credible Prime Minister. And yet that is what we are all being lulled into thinking. So I get back to the point that Labour, that should and could and needed to have anticipated it, should not be pushing back on people like David Blunkett, who are saying, get a grip, that you are not telling a story, you are not convincing. Get a grip. That's what Prime Ministers do, and get the confidence back in the nation. Otherwise, you're getting people who are making these easy, plausible, impossible claims, and there will be a backlash because the British public are fundamentally do not like extremist behaviour. They do not like unfairness. There is something that they will revolt against, and that will be very difficult in terms of managing that unless the government gets a grip. Well, I think it is extraordinarily raw and frightening for a country that has championed respect for human rights, particularly the most vulnerable, to be even contemplating this. I mean, how on earth to be getting in this position whereby a populist party that is riding very high in the polls and is making the weather, brilliantly led by the populist Nigel Farage, is pushing back on the Conservative Party, which itself has been quite prominent in this area, and a Labour Party, which, as even David Blunkett has said, former Home Secretary, has no clear story and no clear answer on this. And it is a failure of government and a failure of the Prime Minister not to get ahead, not to anticipate. None of it couldn't have been foreseen.
How important do you think this issue is for Keir Starmer's re-election and Labour's re-election chances?
Well, as you began the programme by saying, this is the #1 issue for the public at the moment, and understandably, because there have been so many promises to get on top of it, and with so much concern about unemployment and overcrowding, it is a massive concern. Labour has to get on top of it.
And does it look like Sir Keir Starmer is?
I don't think he has done nearly well enough, and he has to do it in a way that's compassionate, but strong, and seen to be fair, and seen to be in tune with the instincts of the British public and with the British our commitment to liberty and fairness and justice. So he has to come up with it. Now, maybe Madeleine's right. Maybe the accumulation of everything he's done so far will add up. I think something much more urgent. I think Blunkett is right. I think that the ECHR and the UN Convention were conceived at a particular time, in a particular point in history before mass immigration was occurring. Can you preserve what's best of it, but do so in a humane way to provide an answer that can cap this, so that then we can start talking much more about the quality of our public services, growth, for goodness sake, which used to be his number one priority.
Well, it absolutely did.
Look, being Prime Minister, Victoria, you have to know what you're doing. You have to have a clear narrative. You can't flip-flop and say, growth was my priority. Oh, by the way, now the polls are telling me it's immigration. He's got to get back to what really matters, growth.